Hello friends, welcome to day 4 of the Fluffy Squirrel Bundle class to go. This is the final day for the class to go. You still have until September 15th to place your orders, but this is the last video of this series. So if you want to get this class to go for free, make sure you place your order by September 15th. To get the class for free, all you need to do is place an order minimum of $50 before tax and shipping and after any Stampin' Rewards discounts. I do have bonuses at $100 and $150. So make sure to check out the details on how to get the class to go for free in the video description, or I mentioned it on day 1 of the video. The Fluffy Squirrel Bundle class to go is featured in our new mini catalog. It is adorable. It's a punch bundle, which I love. Punch bundles are one of my favorite because they're so easy to use. Everybody can use them. You don't need any special equipment to use them. If you want some more inspiration, the Fluffy Squirrel Bundle is featured on page 49 of the mini catalog. Lots of great inspiration here. Okay, let's jump into the card today. Well, let's go over what we made the last couple days, just so you guys will have a little fun looking back. That was day 2. I don't know why I started with that one. Day 1 and day 3. If you want to check out more details on any of these, make sure to check all the videos. If you're on my blog, just scroll back. If you're on YouTube, you can also just scroll back to my videos posted over the last couple of days. We'll review these more in detail at the end of the video. All the cards this week are fun fold cards. Now we have struggled a little bit with a little bit of the fun folds, but today I have confidence it's going to go smoothly. This one is like a fun take on a Z-fold card. I really love this card. It's just, it opens up so cute. It's not a full Z-fold card. It's kind of like a partial Z-fold card, but I just love it. Super cute. We are going to have success with this card today. I know it. So let's start with our card base this time. Maybe starting with the card base will give us some success. This is a really easy one to make. This is 4 1/4 by 11, and you're going to score it. And make sure to check out the video description or the measurements on my blog to get the most accurate measurements. But you'll score it at 5 1/2, 4 1/4, and 2 1/8, or 2 1/8, 4 1/4, and 5 1/2. However you want to score it. Either way, check the video description for those measurements. All right, so that 5 1/2 inch score line, we're going to fold in, and then the other 2 we're going to fold out. Okay, so it's going to look like this. All right, let's grab some adhesive. Now we're going to adhere this little 1 inch piece here, or 1 1/4 piece here. We're going to adhere that completely down on the inside of the card, just like that. So now we are left with kind of that flap. Okay, we're going to get some pieces adhered down. We're going to start with our little inside piece. So I have a little piece of Very Vanilla for the inside for your greeting. So you can either stamp something else or just write a little greeting. That's going to go right up next to that score line. And then we have another piece of DSP, and that's going to go right next to it here. This DSP that I'm using is the same DSP from yesterday, the Peaceful Garden DSP. So we're going to get some double use out of this DSP. All right, so that's the inside of our card. And then this last piece of DSP, we're going to put right here on this tat and this piece that we adhered down. So put a little bit of adhesive here, on here, and this one will just get glued down right onto this piece. That'll just give it a fancy look, a little completed look. Okay, so this is our card base. We're going to set this aside, and let's work on the little front panel. So we have the front panel. I have another piece of Lost Lagoon. The card base was Lost Lagoon. I'm not sure I mentioned that. And then I have another piece of that DSP. So let's go ahead and adhere these together. We're just going to be ready for everything. Now, some of this stuff I have already stamped and colored and fussy cut and put dimensionals on just to make this go a little bit easier. So we have this piece ready to go. Now, let me talk about what I've done in advance. I stamped the 3 gifts. I stamped those in Early Espresso, and then I used Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock to color them. And I have them off to the side with some dimensionals on them ready to go. My tree stump I stamped in Early Espresso, and I used Pecan Pie to color it in. And I have a 2 3/8 inch circle that I punched out of Petal Pink, and that's also on the side ready to go. So the tree stump, the presents, and the circle all have adhesive on them ready to go. So let's do our stamping of the greeting and our little squirrel. So I'm going to grab my Early Espresso ink for that. So I just have a piece of my Very Vanilla. In the kit, you'll get a half sheet of Very Vanilla to do your stamping. And so we're going to stamp this. Go nuts, it's your birthday. This is probably one of my favorite greetings in the stamp set. I love funny puns like this. So go nuts, it's your birthday. So cute. Okay, and then on another piece of vanilla, we're going to stamp our squirrel. Now, in all the other videos, we've used the little fill-in stamps to fill in the squirrel image. But today we're going to use Stampin' Blends. You don't always have to use that fill-in stamp set. So I'm going to use my Crumb Cake Stampin' Blends, and we are going to color the squirrel instead. So, but if you don't want to color, by all means, you could absolutely just use the fill-in stamp. The coloring is going to give us a little bit more detail. So I'm going to start with my dark crumb cake. We'll start on his tail, and I'm just going to go kind of up the edge of his tail, kind of where it's overlapping his body. That's kind of where a shadow is going to be cast. And then I'll come in with my light, and we will just kind of go in circular motions over that dark, and then we'll just fill in the rest of the tail. The blending over that dark is going to just blend all that color out, and you're going to get all that fun texture. All right, so we're going to do something similar along his back here. We're going to add the dark here. We're going to add it around his leg, kind of under his arm here. A little bit up his ear, a little bit on the bottom. And then we're just going to blend that out with our light, just like we did on the tail. So you would just blend, 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 and finish coloring. And I left his little belly blank. And by the magic of television, we have one already ready and punched out. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And I'm going to zoom back out. And we're going to finish the card. Okay, so on our little, on our panel piece here, move this one in so we kind of know what we're doing. So I already have my dimensionals on the back of my Petal Pink circle. I'm going to add that to my panel piece, and I'm going to add it a little bit to the left-hand side. For our greeting here, I'm just going to trim this into a banner. If you have a banner edge punch, you can use that. I'm just trimming up the center, then I'll go from corner to the top of that little point, and again here, just like that. So you can easily just make your own banner, or you can use a puncher, whatever. All right, so I'm going to trim this to about maybe 1/4 inch from the edge of the greeting, and we're going to adhere this onto our card before we start putting our squirrels on. I'm going to grab a dimensional. So I'm going to put a dimensional right next to my circle right here on my panel, because that's where my greeting is going to overhang. On the left hand of my greeting, I am going to put a little bit of adhesive because the circle's already popped up. So I want to make sure that this sits nice and flat. So I'm going to just lay that down. If we had put dimensionals on the back of the greeting, some of it might have hung off the edge here. And if you have a dimensional back here, you're going to glue your whole card completely shut. So put the dimensional on this little panel piece and not on the back of the greeting, and that'll save you some time. All right, we're going to put our little squirrel on here. He's got dimensionals on him. Then we'll come in with our little tree stump that he's sitting on. We'll add that too. And then we're just going to add our little presents. So he's going to be holding this little gift. And then we'll sprinkle these ones. We'll put one here, and then we'll put the other one onto our card once we actually adhere this to our card. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. So I have that card base that we did, and I'm going to add some adhesive to this front panel. I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus. You want something strong. So just on that front panel, I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive on that. And then we're going to put this one down, just lining up top and bottom, just like that. And then we'll add this last present kind of over here. When you open it like that, it's so cute, right? And so simple. All right, let's put a few of our Shades of Green Hexagons on here. We're going to use these like pretty peacock colored ones again. Love these. We're going to use 3 of these. You can use more. You can use as many as you want. I'm going to use a few of these. I should be using my Take Your Pick tool. I'm trying to pick them up with my fingers, and that's never a good idea. All right, but that is today's card, and that's the final card of our Fluffy Squirrel class to go. So if you want to get this class to go for free, all you need to do is place an order in my online store, minimum of $50. before tax, shipping, and after any discounts. And then there's additional levels of stuff you get at $100 and $150 orders as well. So you have until September 15th to place your orders to get this class to go for free. And let me know, do you like the squirrel colored with Stampin' blends, or would you rather have him the squirrel stamped, the fill-in stamps? You can see that. All right, let's just recap the cards real quick and let me know what you prefer in the comments. So this was card number 1. Zoom out just a little bit so we can get all these cards in here. This is like our twist card, where it started as a portrait card. When you open it up, it turned into a landscape card. Very fun. One of my favorites, of course. Day 2 was this easel card. Completely adorable. I just love the colors. Pretty peacock and petal pink. You cannot go wrong. Love this one as well. And we did that little extra stamping on the acorns to give them a little bit more texture. That was day 2. Yesterday we did like this pop-up Z-fold, which was just so adorable, so fun, with that little gray squirrel, different color scheme going on here. And then today we did our mini Z-fold, altered Z-fold, little squirrel here too with the Stampin' blends. So let me know if you have a favorite. Let me know about the squirrel. Do you prefer him stamped or colored with Stampin' blends? And if you want this class to go for free, all you need to do is place that order in my online store by September 15th. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe to my channel. That really helps out my blog so you never ever miss a video. And you'll never miss another class to go. Thank you again for joining me. I will see you guys in my next video, which will hopefully be very soon. And thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.